It's to my channel. Today, and I was to record this and uploaded this yesterday. I kind of got distracted with things and whatever, so it kind of, and plus I forgot about it as well. So here, we're doing it now anyway. So today is the 27th of December, my last video of 2019. This is Football Podcast Episode 2. We're about halfway through the season. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, the second half of the season goes, which will start, I think, next year. I think, potentially. Or will it start just before next year? I can't remember. Not sure. Anyway, let's start with the National League Boxing Day results. Dagenham and Redbridge was against relegation zone Ebbsfleet United. It was a 1-1 draw. Woking, a team that got newly promoted last season to the National League, currently around in the playoff area. I think they are somewhere around about there, somewhere in like top half playoff area. I think, can't really remember where they are in the league. They faced Sutton United at home. Sutton United won 2-0 against Woking. Barnet versus Boringham Wood. Their football match was postponed. I don't know why, but it was postponed, so they'll be playing that feature in maybe a couple of days, maybe in a few weeks or so. But yeah, those teams will have a game in hand. I guess more to play than a few other teams. Barrow was against Flyde. Flyde, the team that has 2021 on their shirt, to try and get promoted to League 2 by 2021. No, was it 2022? Yeah, it's 2022. Flyde is currently near not too far from the relegation zone, near it, and Barrow is currently at the top of the table by goal difference. It was a 1-1 draw, a good point for Flyde, considering their position in the league. Chesterfield, currently in the relegation zone, I think still, faced Solihull Moors at home. It was a 2-2 draw, so a 4-goal thriller. That must have been a fun game to watch as just a normal fan of football, as just going to see it as a football fan and not a fan of one of either side. But yeah, Dover Athletic was at home against Bromley. Dover Athletic won 3-0. Eastlight was supposed to face Aldershot Town at home, but that game also got postponed for I have no idea. Harrogate Town faced Hartlepool United at home, which is Harrogate Town. Harrogate Town won 4-1 against Hartlepool United. Notts County faced Maidenhead United at home. 3-0. Stockport County faced Halifax Town at home. Stockport was at home to Halifax. Stockport won 5-1 at home. That's insane. Wrexham was at home against Chorley, one of the other side that came up from the National League. Well, one of the other teams that came up from the National League North / National League South. And Wrexham won 3-1, so that's a good 3 points for Wrexham. I think they are outside. They're either just about in it or just about outside the relegation zone now. Somewhere around about there. They had a really good season last season, Wrexham. They've started quite poorly this season, but now that they've won game 3-1, maybe this is their push and going up. They're starting to climb up the table. Maybe they'll get a mid-table finish this season. Yeovil Town and the relegated sides from last season from League Two were facing Tory United, one of the National League North or National League South promoted teams from last season. Needing promoted teams, basically. Yeovil Town won 6-2 at home. So, with that win and that, they're only second on goal difference. So they look like they want to get back to League Two and as quick as possible. It makes sense. So yeah, if they manage to get to back to League Two for next season, I think that's probably the quickest bounce back anyone will see in ever, because that's it's one season, boom, sorted, back to League Two. But yeah. And then talking about League Two, let's move on to the League Two results. Leyton Orient were facing Colchester United at home. Leyton Orient lost 3-1 against Colchester United. Swindon Town, they were at home. The league leaders of League Two were facing Cambridge. Unluckily for Cambridge, they were at home, not at home, away to Swindon, and Cambridge got battered 4-0 against Swindon. So, yeah, not great. Not very poor. So I'm imagining the Cambridge fans are not happy about that. Crawley faced Northampton Town at home. So Crawley was at home. Crawley won 4-0 against Northampton. So I'm guessing the Northampton fans are not happy about that, because that means they're now 8th in League Two. Exeter City were facing Newport County at home. Exeter won 1-0. Macclesfield Town was facing Grimsby. That was a 1-1 draw. Carlisle was at home against Bradford City. That was a 0-0 draw. Morecambe were at home against Oldham Athletic. Morecambe lost 2-1. So Oldham won 2-1 away against Morecambe. Salford City was at home against automatic promotion fighting team Crewe Alexandra, currently still in the top three or top two of League Two. Crewe Alexandra, but Salford managed to get a 3-1 win against Crewe Alexandra at home. Good result for them. Well, not good. A great result for them. Scunthorpe United were facing Scunthorpe was at home facing Walsall. Walsall won 2-0 away. Stevenage were at home against Forest Green Rovers. It was a 0-0 draw. Mansfield Town was at home for the second game. Yeah, the second game running. Against Port Vale. It was a 2-2 draw. As a Mansfield fan, with two good draws against, Crewe and Northampton Town in our last game, I really thought we could win that. But there again, this season, Mansfield have been conceding goals before they even score them. Port Vale went 1-0 up, then it got to 2-0 up. We got one back in like the 81st minute or something like that. And then we got our second back in like injury time. So I will find ourselves quite lucky that we got a point from that game. The new manager has not got used to the team yet. I'm guessing he's got 2 draws from his first 2 games. Hopefully, he brings some momentum to the city. Hopefully, the 2 draws against the 2 good, 2 teams in good form. With 3 games without a loss, that is good. Hopefully this will now build up momentum, and hopefully we can pick up some 3 points very soon. Hopefully in the next game, so we can start chasing down that 12 points difference between us and the playoffs. Now in League One, then. Sunderland were facing Bolton Wanderers, probably one of the pundits, the bookies' favourite, one of the teams, the bookies' favourites to get relegated this season because of their minus 12 points start. It was a 0-0 draw, a good point for Bolton, a very good point for Bolton. It's a great point for Bolton, in fact. Bristol Rovers faced AFC Wimbledon at home. Bristol Rovers lost 2-1 at home. Not what you would want at home, but both, mid-table sides. So, it could have gone either way, really. Probably by looking at the score line. Burton Albion were at home against new promoted side Tranmere Rovers. Burton Albion won 4-2, very convincing win for them. Ipswich Town Promotion Racing Ipswich only draw 0-0 against Gillingham at Ipswich's at home as well, in Ipswich, wherever Ipswich is, because I have no idea where it is. Oxford were at home against Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley won that 1-0. Portsmouth were at home against Wycombe Wanderers. Portsmouth won that game 2-0. Rochdale were at home against Fleetwood Town. Fleetwood won 1-3-2, so a very close game there. Shrewsbury Town was against Rotherham United. Rotherham managed to win 2-1, so now Rotherham are in the playoffs. Southend United drew 2-2 against the MK Dons. Peterborough United lost at home 3-0. They faced Doncaster Rovers. So Doncaster Rovers with a 3-0 win against Peterborough away. That is a pretty good result. Well, a great result for Doncaster. So, okay, the Championship now. A few surprising results here as well in the Championship. Wigan Athletic faced Derby County. That was a 1-1 draw. Blackburn Rovers at home faced Birmingham City. That was a 1-1 draw. Brentford were at home facing Swansea City. Brentford won 3-1. Middlesbrough won 1-0 against Huddersfield at home. Barnsley were at home against West Bromwich Albion, sorry. That was a 1-1 draw. Cardiff City faced against Millwall in Cardiff, in Wales. That was a 1-1 draw. Charlton Athletic was at home against Bristol City. Charlton Athletic won 3-2, so both teams in Bristol lost today. So, internet's off in the whole of Bristol for Boxing Day, I guess, which was yesterday. I don't know if it'll be on today either. It might still be off in Bristol. Hull were at home against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest won that game 2-0. Luton Town were at home in Luton against Fulham. It was a 3-3 draw. Stoke were at home against Sheffield Wednesday. Stoke surprisingly won that game 3-2. Yeah, a game that Sheffield Wednesday shouldn't have lost that, to be honest. Some bad performance there. Or did Sheffield Wednesday just get unlucky? I don't know. Looks like they should have probably performed a bit better. And maybe they got a bit unlucky. Plus they concede late goals as well sometimes. Leeds were at home, well, in Leeds, against Preston North End. That was a 1-1 draw. A good point for Preston away from home. Last game of the Championship then, Reading faced Queen Park Rangers at home. Reading won that 1-0. In the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspurs won 2-1 against Brighton Hove Albion at home in North London. AFC Bournemouth were at home against Arsenal. That was a 1-1 draw. Chelsea were at home against Southampton. Southampton won 2-0. A surprise, a game that I would have betted on for Southampton to win that game whatsoever. But Chelsea are playing a team of youngsters, and to say where they are in the league is surprising me. I knew they'd probably be in the top 10. I didn't think they'd be as where they are currently, because they're doing quite well. I think they're in the top 6 somewhere. So, well done, Chelsea. Youngsters, they're doing really well. Crystal Palace faced relegation fighting West Ham United, a team I didn't think would fight for survival this season. Crystal Palace won that 2-1. Crystal Palace were at home anyway. Everton, another team not really that far from the relegation zone, were facing Burnley in the part of Liverpool, the Everton area of Liverpool. They managed to win that 1-0, so a good 3 points for them. Sheffield United were at home against Watford. That was a 1-1 draw. Aston Villa were at Villa Park versus Norwich City. Aston Villa won that 1-0. Manchester United were facing Newcastle. That ended 4-1. Leicester City were at home against Liverpool. Liverpool smashed Leicester City 4-0. Wow. So yeah, that's all the games that were on Boxing Day. I didn't check on the Premier League games that was supposed to be after Boxing Day. I think might have been some today or something. I can't remember. I didn't check the results of those. Never mind. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed almost 20 minutes of this video. This will take a while to upload, which means I'll probably upload it when I have the Wi-Fi later on, because I don't currently have Wi-Fi in the place where I'm at. As you can see, this is not where I normally record at all. No, this is not a room, another room of the house that you've not seen yet. In the house I currently live in, this is a totally different location. But yeah, don't worry about the house that I currently normally live in. People are in it right now, so even if you know where I lived, you won't be able to burgle it, because there'd be people in the house. So Joke's on you. But, yeah. Bye, guys, and I will see you in the new year. Bye!